Hey everyone, and welcome to the Beyond Life and Fitness podcast. I'm Cheryl Patton.
And I'm Megan Prince.
We started this podcast as a way to connect with more people who are struggling to fit it all in. The workouts, the food, kids, work, and relationships.
We know that we're not perfect, but we hope that through our struggles and our mistakes and our failures and our successes that we can help more people through their challenges and be successful. So if you want some tips and tricks to help you along your journey to be the best version of yourself, then this is it.
All right, we are back with another episode, and today we thought we would chat about why people need coaches and why even coaches need coaches during certain phases of their training, or again, if they're prepping even for like a photo shoot or if they do compete, why that added layer of accountability is so important regardless if you're in the industry or not. Yeah.
I think we talked right before this is that as a mom, like you obviously too, when it's busy, the first thing to slide is ourselves.
Yep.
Right? So if we don't have that person that's kind of got our back, that's kind of, in our corner, that plan, that template, that schedule, it's so easy to be thrown off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be able to kind of like have that person that calls us out on our stuff and says like, you're not following this or you're not doing this, or because we're not going to call ourselves out on that. Like it's easy. What we do behind closed doors is what actually counts, right? It's not like what we do on paper. I mean, when I was tracking macros, I think one time on this app calculator or whatever, I remember my daughter was like looking over my shoulder kind of, and she's like, Mom, like you didn't put in the, I don't know, whatever it was, couple chocolate chips or something that you had or whatever. And she's like, it still counts if you don't. And I'm like, so like your kids are watching as you're doing things too, right? So like, even though it doesn't go into the calculator or it's not goes onto your check-in sheet for your coach, it's still happening, right?
Those bite, licks, and tastes add up super, super fast. And it could be, you're getting dinner ready and, you have a little bit of whatever it is you're cooking. You're just kind of taste testing as you go along. Or the kids come home from school and they want a snack. So they start pulling out crackers or chips or cheese or whatever. So now it's sitting out on the counter. What do? You may have a couple little pieces, little bites here and there. And it's these types of things that really start to add up over the course of the entire week and then just kind of throws you right off that compass. And I know just getting back into slowly increasing my calories, right? So I have you helping me out doing that just for that added accountability. And again, I told you, I was probably only 75% on last week. And it's, it's mentally challenging when you've got that goal in front of you, you're getting on stage, you're putting on that itty bitty suit and it's got, you want to look a certain way. Like you can get very honed in on making sure that everything is done to the book. But once that goal is done, and now you're simply just trying to reverse yourself out of that hole, get your energy back, sleep better, be able to get back into your resistance training, recover better. There's that end goal is not really there anymore, right? So it's very easy to just kind of like, what's a couple handfuls of chips? What's some cheese and kielbasa and crackers, right? So, but it adds up. And then when you hop onto that scale as one of your means of checking in, you're like, okay, yep, maybe went a little bit too far.
And that's again where your coach can say, okay, you went off track a little bit. Like it doesn't look that bad. Like you're okay. Just kind of rein it back in.
Exactly.
Call you out on your stuff. Like when did you feel overly stressed? When did you feel like you wanted to grab for that stuff? What was your mindset like? What were you feeling at that time? Like, are you really tired? Are you really overwhelmed? I think in my stage of life, when I'm grabbing for things or doing things, it's not emotional eating for me. It's this overwhelmed feeling. And in that overwhelming moment, that's the only thing I can control. So for me, it's changing my mindset to say, I can control this by not doing it. Like, it's like, I'm not restricting myself on purpose. I'm doing this for myself because I want to feel better. So the coach can then help you like find that mindset of like, you're not restricting yourself. You're not on a diet. Like, we're just trying, you're choosing to do this for yourself because you're choosing to be better. So I think a lot of the time when clients are struggling with things, it just takes that phone call or that chat to just change that mindset. Because if not, if you don't have those people around you, like if you're not a fitness coach or a trainer, and even me, I don't have a lot of friends that necessarily are in the fitness industry. Like my friends are, they kind of work out, but it's not like, you know, so you're not surrounding yourself with people all the time being like, you can't have that, or you shouldn't have that.
Right.
Whereas you need those people to be like, no, you're choosing to not have that little extra today because you have a goal, because you want to, right?
Yeah. Because you want to feel good. You don't want to feel tired, bloated, lethargic, guilty, shame, fill in the blank with whatever emotional feeling that you specifically have tied to yourself when you go, quote unquote, off track, right? It's just a matter of just correct, continue, rather than wallow in what you ate, like, just get back on track in the next meal, or if it happened to be the dinner the next day, that's all it is. So, but yeah, like we all need coaches at some point in time, and how long you have that coach, I think really depends on the size of your goal. And yeah, like I said,
and just your mental state, right? Like if you feel like you're going through a really hard time in your life where you're really overwhelmed and really stressed, sometimes you just need that taken care of for you. You just need, I need the guesswork taken it up. I know so many people that say, I know what to do. I know everything I'm supposed to do. But how about there's different ways you can't self-assess yourself sometimes to say, I'm overtraining or I'm not eating enough, and then actually increase your calories. You need that person who has that knowledge to say, it's okay to increase your calories. It's okay to not train as much. You're like, oh my God, I would never do that on my own. But you have that person and that knowledge. And I think every coach, every person that you encounter in your life, they're going to teach you different things about, like we talked about before. I used to train like 3 hours a day when I was competing back in like 2007. And things have changed since then.
Yeah.
So you have to like, plus I'm 43 this year, and things also change. So the things that you did before aren't necessarily going to work now. And clients will message me and say, should I just do that meal plan you sent me 5 years ago? I'm like, no, you can't, because we're at a completely different
stage of life.
And also, I'm actually probably programming differently than I did 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I don't know what I'm doing. It's just that I'm learning.
Yeah.
Every time as I go along, and new research comes out and new facts come out and new experiences come out.
With yourself and with clients.
Oh, yeah, because then clients teach you things all the time. Yeah. I think for hiring a coach, I think that's the best investment that you can make in yourself, because, again, everything's going to slide.
Yes, there's no such thing as perfection, and that's okay. And you need to be okay with not being perfect all the time, and not get frustrated and overwhelmed with yourself as you are learning new ways of trying to fuel yourself, your family, and just learn new habits. It takes time, and it takes a ton of practice. A lot of practice. And even like with the last prep, like it's always this, it's like pregnancy. It's never the same one twice. Like there's always something a little bit different, right? That comes up, or that you experience, or whatever the case might be. And that's when you lean on your coach and say, hey, like I'm experiencing this, or this is happening, which has never happened before. What do you think? How should we troubleshoot this? And sometimes you just need that sounding board to go off of, and just to vent with if it's been a bad day, just to kind of help get that stress out. Or yeah,
I think just being able to like really call you out on your stuff, right? You're not making progress. Are you following your meal plan? Are we actually doing what we say we're doing in those check-ins?
Yeah.
Because we can see as coaches, right? I mean, as soon as somebody stops sending me their check-ins, I know, okay, well, we're kind of going off track, right? We talked about that last week with check-ins and why they're so important. But a coach, I think, is mostly like for learning and setting up that plan for you that you generally wouldn't. Because I think like the last 8-week program I ran, there was a bunch of runners. And I was like, oh man, here we go. I've got the runners.
Yeah.
But they were really open to giving up some of their miles to incorporate strength training.
That's amazing.
And then I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because then they actually saw different results because it was completely different from what they were doing before.
Yes.
So obviously, like when you're looking into a coach, like talk to them, see if you have that rapport with them, see if they kind of
interview them basically.
Oh yeah, because a coach is a life coach, because nutrition and exercise for me like are the basis of life, basically for me. But nutrition should be the basis for everybody for their life, right? And they're affecting your mood, your health, your cholesterol, your like everything. So you have to be like, yeah, you have to really like.
And I find people find it easier to get moving their bodies than it is to make little changes in their nutrition.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like the nutrition is the harder piece of the puzzle, which is why I think a lot of people avoid it until it's no longer avoidable in order to get to whatever goal it is. Like, I met with somebody today about going into like a 12-week program, and she's like, I just don't want to jiggle. I don't want to jiggle anymore. Yeah. And I'm like, that's an amazing goal. I love it. Right? So
I like those goals when they're not fat loss. Well, the lady I had a consult with today said, I don't even care about the scale. I just really want to feel good and I want to be strong.
Perfect.
And I want my body composition to change. And I'm like, oh my God, I love that. Because when we're so focused on like certain numbers, and she even said to me, is it feasible to want to be like I used to be? And I'm like, no, because you're not even the same person. Like you can never get back to who you were. You can actually probably be better than you were before. But at this point in your life, it's all in perspective of where are we right now? And like, what is going to be our best now? It's not what our best was before, right?
Yeah.
I think as you age and you get older and you learn more about yourself, then I think,
agreed. And I know like for some people, it's, I want to be how I was like pre-kids or pre-whatever. And you're like, well, we can definitely get you stronger and we can definitely improve your eating habits. How your body composition is exactly going to change, we won't know until the process starts to happen. Right? But like, I know for me, like I'm definitely stronger now than I was in my 20s, 30s. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to age like a really good wine.
Right? I know. I'm like, I look better now than I did when I was 25 because I've really put time and intentionality into like my training and I haven't focused on like having to be a specific number or size. I just consistently just keep showing up. And I think that's where people hire a coach for like a month and then they give up, right? Yeah. Because they haven't seen the results. And I think, again, investing in a coach for a significant period of time, if it's 3 to 6 months or even a year, but you have to, because if not, like your coach isn't going to know a lot of information in a month. So you have to like want to be able to have the patience and trust in them.
100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. You need time. The coach, because we don't know how your body's necessarily going to respond. And so, there's a lot of troubleshooting that tends to happen within those first 4 to 8 weeks for sure, as we kind of learn how your body likes to operate. So it's a learning curve on both ends, but if you're willing to be coachable through the process, that's huge.
Yeah. Like being open to that coach and trusting them. Right. Yeah. And question things 100% because you should learn along the way when you have a coach. It shouldn't be something, just do this and I'm not going to tell you why. But just trusting in the process and then just just consistently just keep showing up. But I think, the best investment you can ever make in yourself is in a fitness and nutrition coach, because that's going to change your life.
Agreed. So yes. So if you're overwhelmed, if you're frustrated, if you're not too sure where to go anymore with changing your habits, your physique, your mindset around food, then seriously consider hiring a coach. And you can always reach out to either Meghan or I, and we're more than welcome, or like more than happy to help you out as best as we possibly can. So anyways, coaches are worth the investment, and even coaches have coaches. Thanks everybody for listening today, and we truly appreciate you. And let us know what your biggest takeaway was today, and if you have any questions you want answered on the podcast. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to automatically receive your episodes and to help us reach more listeners. We would love to connect with you on our socials, either Facebook or Instagram, with links in the show notes. Till next time, keep taking those small steps towards your best life.